How do you think Witten's going to do in the booth, Brad?
I think Jason Witten will probably be good at whatever he chooses to do. I did not know that he had an interest in broadcasting, and I'm not sure until fairly recently that he knew it. But I do know his personality, his intelligence, his work ethic, and I can't think of any reason why he would not succeed.
Well, in a way that Romo never really showed a side of himself that suddenly came into view, like the guy at the end of the bar who was screaming and yelling at the set. Instead, he's just screaming and yelling through his set next to Nance that became so popular, and he's Emmy nominated this year. Is there a side of Witten that we haven't seen, Brad? Or is that the Witten that we're going to get?
No. Romo, and I'd throw Aikman in there too. And the difference between Witten and both of them in terms of public persona is his willingness to stand there after games and once a week and take every single question and do it in reasonably good humor. Those other two guys, their patience for doing that kind of wore thin. In terms of what you're talking about, a broadcast personality that will translate, and is there another side to him? Yeah, absolutely. And what people who don't know him and see him only on the field, Rich, have not seen are two things. One is a burning competitiveness. He is as competitive as any player I have ever seen in 40 years. And the other is a deep, insightful knowledge of every aspect of the game. He sees it the way quarterbacks do because of how he studied it, and that's coverages, blocking schemes, the whole thing that makes a play work. And then combined with that, he has a really unusual appreciation and knowledge of the history of the game. I went and sat with him on a flight last year. It was a fairly long flight. Before the flight, the configuration of where the seats were had him in a place where he had a seat next to him. And we may have been going to Washington because Vernon Davis was really going well at the time. And there were a couple of conversations going on, he and coaches and some other broadcasters about who stands where in the all-time ranking of tight ends. And so I said, well, there's a guy who's got an opinion. Maybe let me see what he knows. A lot of times guys don't know anything about history. So I sat down next to him. I said, have you made a study of this? He said, oh, yeah. And we don't have time now for me to tell you, going back to John Mackey and Mike Ditka, his understanding of why his list of the top 5 tight ends would be whatever it was, and specifically what every guy could do and didn't do and wasn't asked to do and how it was different now. And frankly, I'd never had that kind of a historical conversation with him. I didn't realize that his knowledge and passion for all of it was so deep. When you put those things all together, to me, the only thing he's going to have to master is the art of saying it in the number of seconds you have available as an analyst between plays.
Brad Sham, voice of the Cowboys here. What about the excitement, passion, energy from Witten, Brad?
Yeah, don't worry. It'd be different from Romo.
Well, everything's different from Romo, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But you didn't think that Aikman, I don't mean you. I mean, none of us thought that Aikman was going to show that. And, trust me. He'll be fine in that area.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.